Hey, universe. How you been? Well, I mean, I know how you've been. You've been laughing at me all day because you put all these silly hurdles in front of me today that I didn't clear a single one. You just wanted to keep watching me trip. Well, I hope you had fun because I only play the court jester for you, my friend. For anybody else, well, I don't have the patience. But you, Mr. Universe, Miss Wonderful Universe, the non-gender specific, non-gender quantifiable universe of the infinite wisdom that you are. I don't know why today had to happen. I don't even know what your point is. What am I supposed to take from today? I thought, once again, being a white male American, that I had started off with one of those, oh yeah, well, things are working out for me, once again. But no. That was as if in the sitcom writing room for this TBS pilot that we're currently trying to sell, they thought, we'll let him feel like he's gotten exactly what he wants, so that we could just watch him struggle all day to realize it isn't there to be had. Well, that's like every single Gilligan's Island plot ever. So, okay, I'll be Gilligan today. But tomorrow, what I intend to do better work out. Because otherwise, then 48 hours just wasted for what? Why would you do that to me? But one day's worth, sure. I'm sure I have a lesson to learn from the fact that 7 a.m. this morning, when I opened my email to get ready to send Lowe's my interest in throwing my talent in their pool, well, what do you know? The Home Depot had contacted me. They had contacted me at 6:52 in the morning to say, you have moved through the initial phase. We want you to get into our system and start the next round of application rigmarole. And I thought, sweet. I had some WMA righteousness of, yeah, all right, okay, yeah. Was I thinking that I could be black boxed from PhD? Well, at least I don't know that I'm not black boxed from the grocery chains, but I'm definitely encouraged that this email was legit. It was from the Home Depot recruiting. No, it wasn't the recruiting, because recruiting is who gets a hold of you when you send in your initial interest in their job posting. Then I believe it was employment opportunities. Who knows? Actually, I know because my email is right here. I do want to know what this is because I do find it silly that these are the things that corporate America compartmentalizes itself into so that it can make sense of all of its, you're on a need-to-know basis. And frankly, the only people that need to know all the emails that we use in this office are, well, I guess IT, but even they don't need to know because we just don't like to have anybody having that kind of level of knowledge. We're vulnerable. No, Home Depot recruiting and Home Depot hiring, those two emails, they never talk. And so now I'm being recruited, which is nice. I was looking forward to being recruited. But because I use a Samsung Galaxy S4 that hasn't updated since, I don't know, before Trump, when I get these links from nice people like the recruiters at Home Depot, the recruiters at Home Depot, when those folks, recruiting is what you do when you send in your job application. You move to hiring when they say, hey, you passed that whatever round. So, and that's always somewhat of a challenge for me because I always have to either put that felony record down or put no and hope for the best, but there's no reason to put no anymore because everybody's got a felony, it seems like. Well, not everybody. I know 80% of you don't, but I think it is now 18% of men in America have a felony record. It's some outrageous number. And I don't think it's 20, but it's close. I'll look that up so that I have that in my review point of information, because I can't even remember when I read that article. It might have gotten worse. That's probably your old information. However, I don't fear that, especially at a job like Home Depot, because I expect they've already made that accommodation with this workforce issue in America. And I don't remember when I applied, but they still have all of my history from when I worked there, including like the 4 different, when you get an opportunity to move up into a new position, you have to do it through the application process in the system, so that you apply for the job position, then they grant you the job. So I had these 4 other applications besides my very first one when I applied to get the job initially. And I went in and tried to see on my initial application that I had not said anything false. Because honestly, I don't know. But I hadn't. And so I thought, okay, well, I keep back checking life to find out my last episode of true manipulation. And I'm not counting the one I'm currently under, because it's just taking care of business before I admit the whole thing. Plus, I've admitted it to the universe. So, hello, universe. Again, I should put you on hold for all your shenanigans today, but whatever. That would be rude. And I don't want to be rude. Universe, have a laugh at my expense. I don't care. I really don't. But don't do it tomorrow, too. So, when I go to click this link to cross into the Home Depot repository of job connections, it doesn't work. And I'm not surprised. As a matter of fact, I would have been surprised if it had. So I started immediately flipping it into every browser iteration I can get, and the problem I'm running into is that the Android system won't permit the SSL certificate, the secure socket lock. What is SSL? Secure socket list lock? I don't even know. Secure socket something. That little certificate is expired, invalid, whatever, irrelevant. I mean, we're talking about something that browsers that have updated in the last 7 years no longer even care about. But mine wants to find it wherever it can't find it. And that means I can only go to like half the websites online anymore. And I especially can't go to websites that are going to throw some pop-up questionnaire / fill in this form / whatever window box. Even if I go into desktop mode or do whatever trick I can, I'm just hamstrung knowing my phone technology can't accommodate all the different quirky tracking cookies they want to get into my system. Okay. But I don't have a problem with that. I just don't have a better phone. So now what do? Well, I try to use my hotspot to use my laptop so I can get in that way. But I can't get through on my laptop because it gets denied from my hotspot not willing to connect to that website. Okay, so now this is, and I had initially tried to finagle with my phone from like 7:10 until probably 7:45 or 8 even. Like it was just, I finally gave up and thought, okay, that isn't going to work. I can't make that work. So what am I going to do? And then got the dog up. So by the time I got back to it, it was like 9:30. And I'm trying my laptop and that fails. Okay. So then, and they had sent this text at 6:52. Oh, I'm sorry. No, they sent me the email at 6:52. They sent me a follow-up text to let me know that I had an email at, what time did they send that? They sent that at, I know this is fascinating to everybody. You are welcome for this stupid talk, but you are welcome for all the stupid talk. You are welcome. Glad you're here. Seriously, thank you. Now, that text came through at, it came through at 8:54. Thanks for applying to the Home Depot. Please check your email to take next steps in the hiring process. Message and data rates may apply. Not to me, buddy. I got all the message rates you want to use. Just don't message me every day. All right, text stop to opt out. I will never. Why? Are you going to harass me? Do I have to do that? I don't think so. So I get that text at 8:54, and I had already planned to get back to this immediately, but that was sort of a prompt to say, oh yeah, let's do this. So then I fail on the laptop. So now I have to go to a public access internet with my laptop and pipe in on something that's got the triggers to allow this connection to register. And So I go over to the Kroger, which is 4 blocks away, because I know they have public Wi-Fi. And it's cold. It is bitter cold this morning. It's 9 degrees. So it is an uncomfortable 4-block walk. By the time I get there, I'm glad I'm there, and I get to the Starbucks, and they have closed down, like the seating area. They have all the chairs flipped over. There's nowhere to sit. There's literally nowhere to sit. I kind of walk around to see if I can find any seat whatsoever. There isn't one. So they must just not want, there must be too many people coming in from the cold, taking a sit, and just not moving. And so outside I go with my laptop, which has a battery that lasts about 18 minutes. And that's on all low settings, everything, etc., etc. Well, it takes 10 minutes outside in the cold to even get onto the internet before I can finally load up the screen that this email link is trying to get me to. And what happens as soon as I'm putting in my information and I hit send, literally, the screen goes black. And I knew I was close. I just wanted to get to the next screen so that I had created my my user ID and password, so that then I could override it in my own phone with access credentials that I can program for the website specifically. I don't even know if I've done that because the screen goes out literally before I see this the enter button clear, but I know I clicked enter. Oh God, universe. I mean, seriously, just at least make it a cut and dry issue as to what step I lost contact on. But no, hit click black. All right, so I come back home. I power up my laptop, get my battery, whatever. It's 12:15 by the time I get back to this. And long story short, because this story is already longer than a short story should have been. Long story short, I cannot get it to work. I can't get my browser, Chrome or Explorer. Explorer just sends up a message like, "Are you insane? You're about to give up your entire personal history and life if you go to this website." And talk about overreacting. I'm going to the Home Depot recruiting website, and I do start thinking at this point, am I falling for something here? So I do double check the email to make sure that I'm getting legit response at the domain level. And what can you say? Windows 7 and behind, which is what I stayed with, so that Windows 10 wouldn't, whatever. I don't have any, I have a Windows 10 machine, but I don't even use it. So I have basically decided that what I need to do now is take a shower and go to the damn public library. I have no choice. Like, I could go to my parents' house. I could go to another public Wi-Fi, but that's further than the library, so I guess I'm going to the library and waiting in line, which on a day like today, I'm probably going to be 14th in line to get on a computer behind every other homeless person sitting there having coffee. And please have extra coffee when it's 9 degrees. You should not be homeless. That's not a fair state of life to be in. But I will happily wait in line behind you. That said, I will be spending the rest of my day doing this. So I get in the shower, figure, at least it'll be a productive feeling to have gotten through this and possibly have talked to somebody and been hired, right? Like, this is a good sign because this means the store has approved me. And that's where I was afraid that maybe the store would say, no. And I have a feeling the reason it took 2 days is because they probably sent it to the store and said, hey, it's your call. And that means it's a good lesson that even if you leave, try to leave for reasons that it wasn't really something you couldn't correct. And I liked the people I work with. I liked the work, and I liked the level of accountability to my workplace when I wasn't there, which was 0. Those were all fine. And so, hello, at minimum wage, go get a job today, apply for this job, be working tomorrow, kind of routine. That is as good as I can ask for. And so this all felt like, once again, I hate to say it, but it all felt like, hey buddy, you do have it You must have done something in a past life that wasn't the worst thing in the world, because you do get the the simple luxury of rarely not having things go your way. Well, okay. So that overconfidence karma moment of mirror reflecting was inappropriate, given that when I get out of the shower and am about to go into the library, I'm literally gathering my stuff, getting my phone, which has been on the charger, and when my phone goes on this charger, because the cord has a short, oftentimes it'll shut all the way down. So I turn it all the way back on, and as I'm going into the email to make sure that I've got everything I'm going to need at the library, that I have this link, that I'm not just literally making sure that I'm not being an idiot in any way, I go ahead and hit the link button so that I can copy the link, and the website pops open right away. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And it opens in not Chrome, which I don't believe. This is after trying SSL on Opera, Opera Lite, Opera Mini. I mean, trying 7 different Android browsers, trying the link from the email, resetting my preferred browser. I did every trick I could do. HTTP instead of S, see if I could trick it that way. And I hit that link looking to copy the link text so I can have it written down, and that fires over to the website. And it's just like, what changed? I even had cleared out the cache on both my regular browsers, Chrome and Opera, figuring, well, I hate to lose my history, but I'll clear all my data in cache, because why not? What's my history worth? It's a whole bunch of YouTube videos about unsolved mysteries, so I think I can find them again. And all of a sudden, it works. So, because it's my phone, which is clumsy, I think to myself, well, will my laptop work? Come on, tell me my laptop will work so I can get this thing done right. And I don't have to type it out on a phone. And so I put on my hotspot, go to my laptop, and my laptop works. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Like, what has changed? Nothing. But these episodes of disorientation happen to me at least weekly now. And oftentimes I go through this once a day, even a couple bonus episodes for 6, 7, 8 days in a row, where something that I just expect will work out, like networking between 2 computers in my house that have always networked without issue, will just all of a sudden, on a day when I want to copy over 100 gigabytes of data, it will not connect. It won't recognize the file. It won't be able to see the whatever. And these are all machines I set up myself. Like, this is my system that I set up 5 years ago and have changed one thing about all of that since. And it constantly throws me for a loop. And it's not just my home network. It is losing my keys while I'm walking in from my back driveway, the 35 feet to my back door to go into my house. From the time I parked and got out of the car to walk inside the house to the time of recording this right now, I've never found my keys. I lost them in that journey forever. I lost my keys while shopping in a grocery store. I've never even misplaced my keys in a grocery store. But I, one day, spent 3.5 hours going back and forth through a grocery store, wondering, this isn't even possible. It's not possible. You can't do this. This doesn't happen. You don't put your keys in your pocket, walk into a store, grab a handbasket, grab what you need, go to the front, pay for everything, go outside, and not find your keys in your pocket. But I do. I put $70 cash in a red zipped up jacket pocket that I have specifically, and I want to know I have cash secured because it sits in my left upper chest pocket area of the jacket. So the only reason I would ever reach up there or accidentally touch it would be seriously. Universe, what have I done? What have I done? 21 minutes means that the 95 other minutes when I casually hit the stop button and didn't know it, well, I can't say there was any value in there anyway. You can sort of assume the trajectory I was on as that last one clipped out and take it from there. There might have been 2 good points coming. So there has to be a way to turn these lemons into lemonade, and that is, well, it's 12:10, which makes this now officially the 12th of March, Saturday the 12th at 12:11, and I have to get a job at Home Depot today, on this day, the 11th, and the only way I will be able to have an opportunity to record after cutting myself off right here will be to announce that I'm back to work. Otherwise, I will be either trying to get a job or working around the house. So I'm not sure what I had to say there at the end. I do know that I had gone through all the reasons that it's of value to work, including how much it provides for safety, security, the necessities, the wants, the better life that can become the best life. Well, I do think there has to be a good work-life balance to have the best life. But you do need to be able to get the things that you want, like traveling to see see Petra in Jordan. That wouldn't be cheap. It wouldn't be cheap to go to Angkor Wat, nor the pyramids, nor Machu Picchu. All of those are on the list of things that I still need money to do, so that's another reason to put things on a list so you remember, oh yeah, I don't get to just hitchhike to Machu Picchu. I mean, could you do that? Maybe. Nah. I would seriously take that dare. Don't play truth or dare with me, because I might hitchhike to Machu Picchu. I mean, best case scenario, I'd probably get to somewhere in New Mexico, some dusty old town, thinking, this is fitting. I'm thirsty, and I don't have any money. Well, back to Denver. Okay, so having a job gives you grounding, it gives you mental health well-being, it gives you physical health well-being, it gives you the feeling of contributing to both some sort of enterprise, field, discipline, whatever, humanity, sense of self-worth that comes from the dignity of doing a job and doing it with some sense of achievement. It gives you the feeling of accomplishment, the feeling of integration, citizenry, all those things. So why am I telling myself this? Because I need to hear it, and I will probably keep telling myself this for the rest of my life. I do not believe these are lessons I will learn. I believe these are coping mechanisms that I will use to ensure that I do not fail in places where, when I sort of get loose with my commitment or idea of what's important, these are the things that cannot get let go of. So we have 4th grade conversations to ourselves in places we act like a 4th grader. But does that mean I should be admitting that I think this is flaming hypocrisy, that I would even be so presumptuous as to believe that documenting my new, purposeful, happy, settled, and comfortable, yet eager mindset is interesting to anybody else, is of any possible worth to be putting this much effort into documenting it as I am. Well, yeah, duh, or I wouldn't do it. I mean, obviously I quarrel with feeling self-important. But when I was writing down why I think I am being urged into this activity, part of it is I would really like to influence the world in one way through this, and that is to have anybody else who is insecure, unsure, or just a little too twisted up to really let themselves be honest and truthful and be themselves in front of everybody, to say, well, I mean, that guy did it, and his stories are a lot worse than mine. And I know that that's not true for everybody, but it's true for most people. And in that regard, what do you got to lose? You ready to give yourself a break? You ready to say, okay, I have been trying to work on that, and I think, sort of like that dude has to do just to keep a damn Home Depot job, I might want to make a list of reasons that I need to be more communicative with my in-laws, or whatever your challenge is. I don't know what it is. Maybe you cannot help but drink 4 Slurpees a day. Well, work on getting down to 3, and then work on getting down to 0. But work on getting to 3 first, or you'll never get anywhere. You got to give yourself reasonable, measurable, progressible, and frankly, congratulatable goals. And they have to be of enough accomplishment that you did something. You don't get to congratulate yourself for turning your alarm clock off. I mean, I might get to that point at some time. It might start with, start day with getting alarm clock successfully shut off. Bam! Start my day off with one of those things on my list. Boom! Done. But if you're at that point, just put it on the list, because you know you'll get it done. And you've got to feel like you're starting to be somebody who's getting stuff done in your own life for yourself. And if it starts with, shut off my alarm clock in the morning, go for it. Start with something that you know you can't fuck up. And for me, trust me, that might have been where I started. And don't feel ashamed of that. Realize this is what you are doing so that you can start getting to the point where you can tackle the stuff that matters. You won't be able to handle changing your life today, but you will be able to handle changing the things about yourself that are enough of an extension that you have a little momentum. Once you understand that that's improving your life, then find a little more momentum and let that maintain before you try to tackle the big stuff. If you're going to change anything about your life, and it's something that has been persistently counterproductive for you, it is a knot to untie. It is not a handcuff to break free from. Because you didn't get to the point where you feel like it's probably your fault, or at least this is a behavior that you can admit that you'd like to be a little better with because it's been detrimental in your life. If that's where you are, well, then you don't get to just say, I've identified it, now I know what I don't want to do. That's how I'm going to be from now on. So you can try that. Maybe you'll be the first human being who ever succeeds that way. But we are a sequence of events. We are a 52 deck of cards. We are not the Queen of Hearts, and that only. So because we have tied those knots in that sort of loosey-goosey, ooh, I wonder if I tie it around this part, then I hold this and I double back on that, and oh, wait, all that came loose? Oh, shit, I better retie it. That's kind of how our knots get tied. But the best part of that is you'll be shocked at what you thought was going to be the hardest part along the way will actually probably not be. And something stupid will be, but that'll become something that you will be better at handling. The first time you go through something expecting this part to be easy and that part to be hard, and it flip-flops, that will feel like it should derail you. Because you can't even figure out how to prioritize this damn thing, and you thought you had your handle on at least doing this right. Don't let that stop you. Be okay with whatever fluctuation of effort the problem actually demands rather than the one you expected going in. Always be ready to adjust. But don't be ready to not still manage the problem correctly. Let's say that your problem is you have been saying for 12 years that you're going to go back and get your master's degree. And this is it. You're either going to start in September or you know it's not going to happen. And yet, you haven't applied. You don't even fucking have any applications or whatever, right? Okay. Let's say that's your problem. How are you going to solve it? Well, there is the first thing to do, which is decide who you really are. And that, to me, is probably the lie you are telling yourself. There's a reason you don't have any applications. Because ultimately, your desire to fulfill your grad school dreams and wishes aren't yours. They're somebody else's. And this is not embarrassing. This is not even shame. This is just realistic. You are stalling on things for a reason. Either you don't think you're up to it, which is something you should definitely be rehabbing a conversation with yourself about, or you don't really want it, which you should also be having a conversation with yourself about. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not going to give yourself that much of a gift to say, listen, Mom and Dad, I know you think I'd be better if I had my MBA, that my whole future would look brighter, but after running that calculation in my simulator, what I figured out is that it leads to me, honestly, there's a 98% probability I end up in clown college. Yeah, the other 2% I drown in a bathtub. I'm not sure what that part is. Let's not even look at that. Clown college. That's what my MBA is going to end up doing after I spend too much time figuring out how to leverage these poor people out of there. I'm saying it's a cutthroat world out there in that business community, and if you're not willing to play that game at a high level, well then what's your MBA for? It better be for something. It better not be for your parents. And it better not be for the estimated prestige it'll bring. It doesn't matter to you, then don't do it. Find something that does matter to you. You only get one life. At least I didn't go to law school. I applied. I took the LSAT. I aced the LSAT. That's the only reason I got into law school. All right. My point is, your passions are your passions. It's the one gift you arrived with. If I had to guess, it's the one thing you intentionally put some effort on before you did the whole out the birth canal routine. As you were lining up to decide which little body your soul was going to go into, you thought, and this time, I am not going to be so crazy about horses. I'm going to like mechanical things. And here you are, constantly denying yourself a career as an auto mechanic that you know you would love because for some reason, your family is full of law enforcement agents, so you became a cop. And you hate it. Should have been a mechanic, you know it. But there you are, 12 years on the force, and it's about to be 15, so fuck it. But you're only 37. Now's the time to do what you want to do with your life. Do it with enthusiasm. Do it with the kind of passion that comes with fulfilling who you are, and all of us benefit. So when I think, yeah, this is me telling you not to do all the stupid shit I did because you'll feel better about yourself, that does feel preachy, it feels hypocritical, and it feels, if nothing else, like exactly the kind of shit nobody else wants to hear. Yep, I get it. So I try to not ever tell you that this is for anybody but myself. But if you have some reason to listen, then make it a reason to listen. Find something that this actually provides for you. Maybe you have the same sort of pinball activity in your head of thought, and you think, hey, watching this guy's pinball at least keeps my pinball from coming out of the what do they call that? What is that, plunger? So there could be something you get out of this just from the syncopated rhythm that you connect to. I don't know. I get things out of various unexpected places all the time. I just don't want to occupy or preoccupy anybody's better time spent elsewhere. I do not think that there's anybody listening right now that can't come up with at least 3 more productive things they can be doing with their life than listening to this. So I'm just being honest. Go figure out where you're being the least yourself and start working that out. That's step 1. Once you have that all worked out, I mean, you're basically there. Okay, so I've got 2 more things on here that I got to get to, and then I'm done. I didn't cover the gaps that are there to be had. If you are looking at available opportunities and seeing them as the kind of thing that nobody will notice, so this is no big deal because I can't even get caught. I mean, in fact, this is so not a big deal that if I don't do it, this will literally go into the trash. So I can watch it be completely destroyed, obliterated out of reality into nothingness, or I can put it in my pocket. So in a way, if I let it go be obliterated, I'm letting it go to waste, so I have to steal it or acquire it or repurpose it or whatever. Okay. And sure, especially with food, I mean, there are reasonable arguments to be had there, but they're only reasonable arguments so long as they're serving a purpose where somebody's necessity, who otherwise wouldn't be able to achieve it, has an opportunity to be fulfilled. Just like I'm going to fulfill my scratchy throat with some chocolate milk. Hang on. But the ones that you start talking yourself into being smart enough to see, and the ones that you start thinking to yourself are the diamonds dribbling out of the mind of the dumbass talking to you in this recording. If those are the diamonds that you're picking up, I say go pick up as many as you can find. I don't even want to cut. I just love that they're dribbling out of my mind. But assuming that... Oh, how many ways can I screw up a recording? Oh, let me count them. No, don't. That'll take a while. So plugging in. I lose you? Nope, somehow you are still here. If you're here now, do you have a reason to stop? I hope so. But before you go, I didn't believe that there was purpose in life. I didn't believe there was an accountability to a bigger community that mattered enough for those moments to even be in the conversation. I didn't believe in today's the day I can start living in a way that actually feels worthwhile and not a curse placed upon this Gilligan of a soul on an island full of savages who just don't think I'm very funny. I mean, sometimes I think I'm not funny, I get it. But sometimes I think I am. These guys, they just throw spears at me. You know, that guy kept finding that those gaps, well, it's not so much that you won't get caught. It's that you won't use that as an opportunity to say, I am not better than anybody else. I don't have the character question mark to think I am enough to take advantage even of an opportunity that no one but I will know about. I will know about it. And because I will know about it, it means I am doing damage to myself even if I can't see it right now. Because next time, I've just expanded my rubber band far enough to justify something slightly more unbalanced. Not so guaranteed not to be noticed. 95% nobody will see this one. But look at what it offers in return. Don't you think? Those are the kind of advantages maybe we still have to consider and maybe even go through with. well, pretty soon, you've lost yourself. So I just say, and this is fourth grade morality. This is literally the kind of stuff they probably hold you back and still make you go through third grade if you didn't figure out. So this isn't something that 99.999999999% of every rationally thinking adult doesn't already understand. But the scheming adult, the one who, when the rule has been broken, you think to yourself, well, the rule's broken. I mean, what penalty is there still to be had, right? Can't we just keep, I mean, we don't want to be doing this again after midnight, but until midnight, we can't break the rule 17 times or nothing, right? It's just one violation. So what can we get out of this? Where can we take this? How can we leverage? What's the win here to be had? Now that we've got some loss, don't we want to get some of that back? Recoup a little of our what just happened? That guy. The guy that doesn't ever miss an opportunity to take a little if it's there to be had and nobody's going to really notice. Well, it can become your life. It can be the sort of how you look at every situation, first, second, and third, that you miss the simple living of not being in a tactical mindset with everybody you meet. You can lose yourself on this planet in a lot of ways that you don't even notice. But the one where you lose yourself because you didn't have enough of a spot check along the way to realize that outsmarting everybody doesn't make you a winner. It is the ultimate train on which you end up alone. Well, I was certainly on that train, and I don't know, there were like 4 more people left. I almost rode it to the end. Somebody kicked me out while I was sleeping because I don't deserve not to be finishing at that end. And I'm not saying I won't die alone. I will. But I won't die without having lived something worth dying for. Because up until now, I was going to die for all of you. I didn't think I had enough value and self-esteem to give anything but pain to you. So the one thing I was ready to die for was everybody else. So now that I have everything personally to move forward for, to live for, to achieve, well, I do feel like this is self-important, neglectful of my community, and to the point my dog doesn't even want to listen anymore. But it is my project for me in a way that has been fulfilling to this point. I would imagine it can't continue in a one-man dialogue for another 10 months without all of us who have ever listened to me thinking, impossible. I agree. And I already am trying to think of how I can have conversations with other people, because phase 2 will involve that. It's just a question of convincing those who will converse with me to let me record it. So I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll figure it out. But I know there's a lot more sharing to be done here, and most of that means me sharing the revelations and accomplishments with the world, meaning other people's stories are the stories that matter now, not mine. And me getting through how that's going to all work, I don't know. That's why I'm late to work. I'm trying to figure that out. Oh, God, I've got to get to work. Well, hopefully that's what I'm saying later today. It may be, it may not. If it's not, I will figure it out some other way. But if it is, well, remember, I said yesterday, I said today, and I believe tomorrow, that is the easy, perfect solution. So treat it with the kind of respect and last chance mentality that it may be. You do not need to create more friction in your life. You need to create systems that will enable everything else that needs to happen in that's how unsure I am about everything I'm doing. Sometimes even I don't have the words.